out of sight. Talking about my life, government stay away. If you drive, I'ma do it my own way. Squid in the ocean, swimming all alone. Ain't nobody telling me where to go. Living free, gotta stay true to myself. No need for interference from anyone else. Squid pro quo, that's the way to be. Living on my terms, setting myself free. Mama to my baby, protecting with my no government intrusion. I control my life.
Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are in this world. Welcome to Squid and Spawn ASMR evening stream, afternoon stream. I don't know what this is. It's friends going down rabbit holes trying to fix the world one stream at a time.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go with that.
Just before we start, though, I have got a quick announcement to make, if that's okay. Thank you. Disclaimer. The thoughts and opinions expressed in this following broadcast by the host and guest are their own personal views and should not be taken as an endorsement of any kind. This is a space for discussion, perspective, and lively conversation, but not for misunderstandings or misplaced assumptions. If you're really offended, then this might not be the place for you. Kindly tune out and let those who enjoy engaging dialogue carry on. Thank you very much for your attention.
If you're easily offended, my stream, my channel, my life might not be for you. And John, thank you. I've missed you so much. Help to support the channel by liking, subscribing, and sharing. And if you are subscribed, please make sure you're still subscribed, because I had even good friends of mine who I talked to off of YouTube tell me that they were unsubscribed from my channel. So, yeah, it's YouTube does some mysterious things. I have gone up to and down to today, just today. So YouTube is doing some weird
Hi,
stuff.
Roy. How you doing, bud?
So, but it's good to see everybody back. This is just two friends going down a rabbit hole trying to fix the world one stream at a time. And because I don't know a lot of people who talk about air traffic control and this problem, in the words of Broken Baker, if you can't find content, make content. So that's what we're doing. Hey, Sweet Fly, Gail. Hey, Mamo Cuddles. How are you guys?
Yeah,
what the heck
everyone.
are you talking to? I don't know. ASMR. I don't know. Yeah. I need to make a disclaimer. You know, thoughts and opinions are not. Yeah, I found out in editing this video that I'm trying to edit that I'm a horrible editor. I'm horrible at editing videos. I'm absolutely horrible. I
just want to. All I can say is that, like, I talked to you afterwards, but there's a program that I can help with. It's called Get Someone to Do It For You.
Yeah, but that costs money. I'm balling on a budget here. I got champagne tastes on like a PBR budget.
Yeah. Wait, you forgot to flick the hair as well.
Yes, we're on the Natty Light budget with, like, you know, rosé tastes. Like, you know, somebody is supposed to be making me a new intro video, but I haven't heard from him in a while, so I don't know where my intro video is. I have to check on him.
Can I just say hello to everybody? I just want to say hello to everyone, especially Roy. How you doing, brother? And everyone, it's good to see you. And today is going to just buckle up, put your seatbelt on, put the harness on, get your parachute, get your blow up, get what they call it, life preservers, get your airbags, and get everything ready, get your helmets, and it's going to be
famous words of Chicken Little, put your put your head between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye.
Yeah, it's going to be one of them today. Jesus Christ.
Yes, this channel does not provide legal, medical, aviation, political, or financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And if you take my financial advice, God forbid, Lord help you.
I didn't. I live in a tent now.
You're Army. You lived in a tent anyway.
Oh, no, it's a basher. Thank you very much, madam.
Whatever.
Freaking Navy. Anyway, sorry.
And if you are the praying type, add Roy and his wife to your prayer list, please. Not going to say why, just his family could use it. 3 awesome dogs as well. Could be added to the prayer list of people. Yeah, I'm gonna respect their privacy and not say why, but if you are the praying type, add 3 awesome dogs and Roy and his wife. They are good friends of the channel. They have been with me since I started this channel. Roy contributed to my Give, Send, Go to get this Kickstarter thing off the ground. So y'all be with them. Put them on your prayer list if you're that kind of person. No matter what God you pray to, even if it's the local neon sign down at your local, corner bar, still throw up a couple Hail Marys for them. They could really use it right now.
Yep.
And on that note, we are going to get started with a little video. And I promise I am getting better. I'm just getting better very slowly.
That's a dry cough, that.
Yeah. We're an Unknown Hero. Thank you for the gifted memberships. As always, I appreciate you, and I hope you are doing well. I have not seen you around much. I had not seen some of my OGs very much lately. It's been kind of a interesting time. But here we are. Oh. And getting to the and Gail, thank you for the 7 months of membership, 7 months of squid. Wow. Yeah, Gail, thanks for the sticking by my side through thick or thin. Always staying strong. And I will be doing a members only Ask Me Anything within reason. So work and wedding planning. Oh yeah, that wedding planning. Ooh. Did y'all said I take it?
Oh, you guys I like that. Oh, sorry, my bad.
No, you're fine.
I like that flag. Unknown Hero. Slava Ukraina.
But that one.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, Slava Ukraina.
All right, so we are going to get into this. We are going to start with.
Well, when you show it first,
we're going to start with a short little video. Okay. This is from Pilot Cube. We are going to play it. It's from 1999, so it's throwback, but it's ATC, and it gets into the heart of what we're talking about.
On Kilo now. You're at 1448, roger. Turn right at Kilo, and then a slight left turn, taxiway Charlie, hold short, runway 23 right. Is a 150, and we're on Kilo. We are clear of the runway. We're approaching Kilo 1, and we're on Kilo. Yeah, it's 1448. What's your position? And we're clear of the runway on November.
Right, sorry, I do apologize, and you need to have a little bit of context of this, because I dropped this on squids. It was like pow, have that. Basically, in obviously you can see the date in December 1999. There was a total breakdown in communication from certain pilots. Now, if you have a look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see 2 aircraft. You'll see one lined up holding short for the runway 5 right, or 5 right, and then another aircraft behind him. At the top left, you'll see one aircraft at the gate, and then you'll see the other aircraft that's pointing towards the aircraft. Now, that's the one you need to pay attention to, That's the one that the communication between that aircraft and the ATC. Just pay attention to it, and this will give you a sort of like a stepping stone into the actual rabbit hole we're going into today.
And this is at night. So, yeah. So this up here is United. This is the plane that's talking. And I'm sorry it's so small. Facebook Reels, you know how they are. This is US Airways. And FDX, I want to say is Frontier. No, F9 is Frontier. Never mind. I can't remember who FDX is. My mom could tell you within a heartbeat. I just have to look real quick. FDX airline.
all I'll say, guys, is have an open mind, listen to what's being said and the communication, and this will start giving you an idea what we're going to be going into.
FDX. I want to say FDX is FedEx, but I'm not sure. Yeah, FedEx. Okay. So this, let me go back to it. This down here is FDX 1662. That's a FedEx jet.
5 Bravo, United 1448. United 1448, thank you. Taxi to ramp via taxiways November and Tango, report crossing runway 16. Okay, November, Tango will report crossing 16 on the 1448.
Answer 2998 is hold short behind FedEx.
Answer 2998, thank you. FedEx 1662, runway 5 right, fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Runway heading, clear for takeoff, 5 right, FedEx 1662.
Now, 1448 is on November by the runways here. We don't see the, we still across straight ahead on November.
United 1448, affirmative, cross runway 16, join taxiway November Tango on the other side.
November Tango on the other side, United 1448. And United 1448, we're approaching Kilo here. Somebody just took off.
United 1448, you shouldn't be anywhere near Kilo. Hold your position, please.
That noise, what you just heard, was the plane flying over their plane.
Sorry. Oh, you there? Oh no. Spawn, you there?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I had my mind. Yeah, sorry about that. That's how close it got. There was a total breakdown in communication. They didn't listen to the instructions. They were not paying attention because on each taxiway, and quote me if I'm wrong, on each taxiway, there's a sign which is a foot high and probably about 2 foot wide, and it will have the taxi numbers on it. It'll say Kilo 1, or it'll say different, it will identify what taxiway you're on or what you're approaching. Now, if you've got a runway in front of you, it will give you the runway, what part of the runway you're at. If it's either 23 left or if it's 5 right, it will give you that information. And they totally and blatantly ignored, even though the readback was correct, they still ignored and continued. And look where the plane was. If you listen carefully, you can actually hear FedEx flying, literally hear their engines, their full blast engines, going over their cockpit while they transmitted. That's how close this guy got. And if you listen to the rest of it, which you're going to find extremely interesting, so I'll leave that up to the host. So,
Hey, Jeff.
Just stop.
Tower, this is United 1448. We are currently on a runway. I was looking out to the right with a Kilo. We need to go on to the Kilo taxiway.
United 1448, you were supposed to taxi November in Tango. I need to know what runway you're on. I can't see anything from the tower.
Ma'am, we are on 23 right, intersection of 16, and we did not connect on November. We are by Kilo to our right, and we just overshot Kilo. We did not see it.
FedEx 1662, contact departure, good day.
FedEx 1662, or departure, so long.
Runway on 23 left here.
United, stand by, please. Yes, sir, 2998, runway 5 right, fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Ma'am, I'm trying to advise you we're on an active runway, United 1448.
23 right is not an active runway. It's a taxiway when we're IFR or dark.
Yes, we're staying clear of all runways until we figure this out.
Everybody stand by, please. Radio silence until I talk to you.
Runway.
Everybody stand by.
Um,
U.S. Air.
Dale, he didn't see it because it was a night landing in fog. So there is a good chance that he couldn't see it, just based on weather conditions.
It was actually an aircraft that took off, not landing. Sorry.
There is a good chance that there's a good chance that he couldn't see what he was supposed to be seeing. I don't know how it happened. And that's when the tower, this is where technology and the tower have not, even in 1999, the technology that was in the towers was not caught up to the technology that was in the planes. Because everybody's like, these Boeing, these jets keep getting upgrades. And these jets, Boeing keeps upgrading, Embraer keeps upgrading, whoever bought CRJ or Bombardier keeps upgrading, Gulfstream keeps upgrading, but the towers themselves are not upgrading. So at what point does all the technology in the planes become a moot point when air traffic control themselves is still in the 50s?
Mm-hmm.
It's
and just to add to that, like the thing is, what ladies and gentlemen, what you need to understand is that on airports, the signs in them days were not well lit. About in 1999, they had lights in them, and you could from the pilot seat you can see them. That's why they were that big, because obviously they needed to make them big enough for pilots to be able to see them, because when you're like about 30 meters away or 50 meters away, you need to be able to have enough time to turn your aircraft onto that taxiway, because obviously aircraft you need that space to move. But this one here is the perfect example of a breakdown in communication between that aircraft and the tower. Now, one thing you have to understand in addition with this is not ground. This is ATC dealing with this. Now, just imagine this was being dealt with by ground. The fact that we didn't have another situation like the Pan Am and the TWA flight in Holland, I believe it was, where one plane was crossing a runway in poor visibility, and TWA, I think it was the Pan Am was crossing, or vice versa, and on takeoff he flew into the aircraft. So that also needs to be taken into consideration, that this could have caused the same incident because of lack of communication. Carry on. There you go. The next one.
1020, hold your position, please. I don't know exactly where the United is. I'll figure it out in a minute.
We're on Tango for 1020.
This is United 1448. We're on 23 right. We're looking at Kilo straight ahead. If we can go straight, we can get on Kilo and get off the runway.
United 1448, stand by, please. Don't talk. I have other things I need to do.
Roger, ma'am.
US 2998, runway 5 right, fly runway heading, cleared for takeoff.
Tower, you said 2998, so we figure out what's going on down there. We're just going to stay clear of all runways.
Yes, sir, 2998, roger. Hold short of runway 5 right. He's not anywhere near the runway, but you can hold short.
Okay.
62, climb and maintain 10,000.
He doesn't even know where he is. So 10,000, 1662.
Less low.
Tower, US 2998 isn't going yet because I have a United who doesn't know where the hell he is. I'll take him back and I'll flash you when he's ready.
DC.
Sir 1020, are you at your gate?
We're stopped as requested on Tango.
Sir 1020, thank you. United 1448, understand you're on runway 23 right. Have you gone past taxiway Kilo and Tango 1?
And we're on 23 left and 16, and I am facing into Kilo at this point. The nose is just over 23 left.
Are you facing northwest or southeast?
We are heading for United 1448. Right now we are facing approximately 200 degrees on the heading. I'm looking out the window and I am seeing a sign that says 23 left to my right and a sign that says 16 to my left. And I have yellow signs that say Kilo to my right and to my left. We are on a current runway.
And the thing about this is the tower is not even listening to them. The tower can't see where they are because they don't have them on their technology. They can't see where they're at.
They don't have ground tracking radar. Yep.
And and they're telling them, and the lady in the tower is confused as all hell. And you can tell she's being agitated because she's not understanding what's happening.
Yeah, because the thing is, them in that aircraft, they were given instructions. Now, I've been trying to find that actual layout of that airfield, and the thing is, they're not listening. They either they were just talking to each other, or ignored, or went past the taxiway, and then ended up on the runway. Nearly got clipped by another aircraft. One pilot's basically down at the bottom. He's going, I'm not fucking moving. No. The other one's going, I'm standing still on this taxiway and I'm not moving either. And these guys are still, I mean, if you've got the Kilo taxiway to your right, why are you not exiting a live runway and get on that taxiway? You'll be in a safe environment. You'll be out of everyone's way.
And the thing is US Air 2998 down here at 5R already told them, like, he could hear 1448 say that, hey, we're on the runway.
Yep.
And he's like, I'm not taking off because they're on my runway.
Yep. And the other one, the first one that took off, probably didn't even know that they were on the runway, and just by pure chance they had enough power to V1, V2, and then get out of there. But you could hear that plane fly over the other aircraft, and you could hear it very clear. So they must have had a little bit of poo come out. A little bit of poo must have come out of that part. It must have been an arse clinching, cheek grabbing moment.
Somebody clenched tight.
Yeah. There'd be a nice little mark in the chair. But on a joke to the side, the ATC is trying to figure out why they've gone wrong. They are making no sense. That if you listened, there was a part where someone else said they don't know what they're doing. Someone actually keyed over when you could actually hear two people talking at once, and one of them actually said that they haven't got a clue what they're doing.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep going.
Yes.
Heading 200.
United 1448, just taxi straight ahead. Let me know when you get to the next sign, please.
Okay, we're going to go straight ahead. We're going to go up to Kilo here.
United 1448, are you just turning onto runway 23 left right now?
Yes, we are, and we're going to go over. We're on 23 left. We're currently exiting, and we are coming up on Kilo now.
United 1448, roger, turn right at Kilo, and then the slight left turn, taxiway Charlie, hold short, runway 23 right.
Is a 150, and we're on Kilo. We are clear of the runway. We're approaching Kilo 1, and we're on Kilo.
United 1448, what's your position?
Right, that's back at the beginning.
We're clear of the runway on
Right. In regards of Gail's question, was it Gail who asked that? Did FedEx see the plane they barely missed? To be perfectly honest with you, by them not reacting or not saying anything, I think that like they were able to take off and clear them just far enough so they didn't even realize it. I think if they'd have hit him, I don't think they would have realized it. By the sounds of it. This here was in 1999.
Yep. December 6th in Providence, which I'm assuming is Rhode Island.
Yeah, 26 years ago. The next video you're going to see, if Squid puts that up, this one, if you are squeamish and you have struggled with flying, please remember these are isolated incidents. Okay, no one was hurt in this. All right, but please pay attention.
Left fuel pump.
Oh shit!
Fuel pressure.
Right. That's how quick.
Drop in fuel pressure. Left fuel pump.
Oh shit!
Fuel pressure.
As you can see there, they came within spitting distance of each other. She was going through her, I think probably just after takeoff, she'd go through a checklist or pre-landing checklist, whatever. So she was paying attention to the instruments and everything else. He was daydreaming, looking out the window. Next thing he saw that fucker go past doing walk 10. Just one more time for the record.
Just one more time.
Right fuel pump. Drop in fuel pressure. Left fuel pump.
Oh shit!
Fuel pressure.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, it's way too close for comfort.
Yeah. TCAS warning. Did you hear anything? No. ATC? No.
Hey, Green Gun, you're so tight they could have driven a sewing needle with.
Yeah. Do you know what? Do you know what? They were that close. I think the other pilot actually smelt maybe his mouth, his breath. That's how close they got. All right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. When I first came across this, I even had to stand up, walk away, come back and watch it again because I thought it was CGI. I actually had to watch it a couple of times.
Yeah, and when you sent this to me, I got it when the little woke up, when her dad woke up, when her dad went to work. So we were having a dance party in the living room at 3:30 in the morning the other day, and that's when I watched this. And like my brain's not exactly awake yet, and I saw this, and I'm just like, I swear I sat there and I was just like, did I really just see what I thought I saw?
And,
oh, everyone, how are you?
Hey, Buck. Buck just made a comment. Just a quick one to you, Buck. All right. You have to understand, right, the differences between flying away from each other or driving away from each other and driving towards each other. It's just like when you get taught about head-on collisions and things like that, right? That you could be 30 miles an hour going forward, but you have to also calculate the speed of the other vehicle or aircraft. Now, if they're doing, let's say they're doing 120 AGL, and the other plane is doing 120 or even faster, right? You then have to add that. So basically, the closing speed is over 260 miles an hour, right? And I had to watch this quite a few times, and I did some research on this. And for the record, this is not CGI. This is not special effects. This is real.
And thank you for y'all for putting up with me for the past 3 days. This is not what I normally sound like. I am way more annoying than this, generally. This bronchitis has been kicking my butt. Luckily, I'm still the only person in the house that's sick. How I've managed to be the only one in the house that's sick for 3 weeks, I don't know. I apparently sent my sickness across the pond to Spawn, but Mr. Squid didn't get it. So I don't know. So I apologize if anybody sees this who is not a regular on my channel and is like, why the hell does she have that vocal fry? Why is she talking like this? I promise this is not my normal voice.
impersonation of Mini-Me. Mini-Me.
Oh my god, I sound like I'm going to the what the hell stuff. I sound like Kermit the Frog. I sound like a Muppet, a chain smoking Muppet.
Yeah. JK, thanks very much for helping me out with that word. Yeah, combined speed. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is real, and this hopefully will bring us now into the subject that Squid has invited me on to yet again parachute into a freaking rabbit hole without any type of defense whatsoever.
And I do have the ever so good notebook ready for rabbit holes. We are not going to. We're trying to not jump down rabbit holes, but we are going to write them down so we can investigate them for other streams.
Yeah,
because Spawn is my resident guest for all things aviation streams, because Mr. Squid won't come on my channel because he thinks YouTube is shit. He does not understand the YouTube thing except for it helps me put groceries out.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. Well, I've been talking about I've got the new term parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
He is one of those people who doesn't understand it. He watches YouTube. He watches a lot of creators, but he doesn't have that thing. Oh no. No. You sound like Laura Owens throat pregnant.
Oh my God, you guys are throwing some crap. I'm going to sit and be quiet.
Y'all are mean.
No, you're on your own on this one.
Mr. Squid is my resident aviation expert. I worked on airplanes. I was an AT2. That's why AT1 makes fun of me. I was an AT2 on E2C Hawkeyes in the Navy for 5 years. But that was back in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. I have not worked, and then I worked in civilian aviation for 2 years. My other half, my better half, my smarter half, has a bachelor's degree in aeronautical engineering and currently works in aviation and has now worked in aviation for over 20 years, both civilian and military. He is my aviation expert, but Spawn is the one who is my aviation go-to for all things YouTube, because he was talking about some of these plane crashes on his channel, and I figured if I'm going to jump down rabbit holes, who better to jump down rabbit holes than somebody who is already jumping down rabbit holes on their own?
Well, not just that, but the thing is, I'm not saying I'm an expert at it, but I look at things from a different perspective. I look at things from the outside of the box, where people, people are have the blinders on and they'll just see what they see. Whereas I will then take it, I will step out of the box, and I will then analyze everything that happens in each frame. Just like the Washington DC incident, the Philadelphia incident, the Canada, the Delta air accident, different things. And then when we were covering that, I started doing some research, and this is what I come up with. I mean, but when it comes to analyzing stuff, that's where I can say, yeah, that's where my strengths are in, because investigating and finding stuff that doesn't, when you look at a picture and then suddenly you see in a Van Gogh, you look at a Van Gogh picture and suddenly you see someone standing there with a, an automatic weapon when those weapons didn't exist at that time.
And Green Cone, I don't know if I've ever seen you on my channel before, but welcome, and can show my nude skydiving video. It was on German TV.
Oh no, I don't want to see a freaking. I don't want to see.
Oh my God, you're hilarious. Welcome. I am a stay-at-home mom. I just do.
That's just wrong.
No, Mr. Squid just sent me a text message. And I opened up his text message. He said the rain is really bad. And I said, be safe. And all of a sudden he sends me this message. And this is the picture I see.
Oh, Jesus.
So I literally, that's what I looked at. And I just cracked up laughing.
Right, let's not get derailed here. Let's crack on.
I do know you. Okay. Green cone must be a new...
Oh, Jesus Christ. Skydiving.
Oh, I know you. Okay. Oh no, you sent me a video. Oh no. Green Cone sent me a video.
Oh.
I'm not watching it. Oh. So we're breaking out the microscopes for that video. All right. So what we're going to get to in this is oh my goodness.
Just let me know when to start and I'll just start.
I'm sorry. I just had to laugh at Mr. Squid. I just had to laugh at Mr. Squid's picture because like all I see is crazy eyes. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. You want to start? This is Sean Duffy is our current transportation safety director or secretary of transportation. And whatever you do, keep all judgment aside on political parties. That's not what this is about. This is not about political party, considering this shit has needed to be done for over 25 years. However, whatever you think of this administration, this is the first administration that's actually, for better or worse, when they've said they were going to do something, they've actually done it. Whether you like it or not, they said, we're going to do it, and this is what we're going to do. So whether you like their plans or not, this is the first administration that in my lifetime that I've actually seen have plans and say, here's our plan, we're going to do it. It may work, it may not. I did talk to someone on Facebook who is not related to anything with this channel, not related to anything YouTube at all. But he did say something that was worth screenshotting, and I have not been able to get in touch with him since. But before we read this, I will give you his input, because what he said about it was very telling. He had said, I'm trying to find the screenshot of the, I had read it on a different channel, or on a different, oh, come on. I had read it on a different, stream, and I'm really hoping I didn't delete it. Why can you always find something until you're looking for it and then you can't find it?
Excuse me.
Oh my goodness. Okay. He said, we need to put the blame right where it belongs. Congress, both houses, they've stolen the ATC network fund, and this is a rabbit hole that I haven't gone down yet. I've started investigating it, but it's deep. ATC network fund as a slush fund since the 1960s. This fund was an added tax to each ticket sold in the U.S. It was set up to improve the ATC network radars, nav site towers, just like Congress used SSM. They used the ATC tax. This is what caused the air traffic controllers to go on strike in 1980, where all of the strikers were fired. Made sense. We're short-handed and working with broke dick equipment. And this is his quote. So we fire the strikers and go more short-handed, so much that the military had to fill in those ATC slots. It takes about a year to become fully qualified at Boston Tower, and another 1.5 years for Boston Radar. Please don't get me started on Washington Airspace. As an Army ATC during a strike, I worked with the ATC Kansas approach. If Congress, again, both houses, were not about how to line their own pockets and took care of getting the job done, we would not have the mess we call the U.S. airspace today. By the way, you cannot just replace one station at a time. You need to do them all at once. So that was someone who has experience with air traffic control, and that's where he has put the blame. So when we read this is a plan by Sean Duffy. when you read this, don't think about it as political parties. Don't think about it as Trump versus everybody or everybody versus Trump or anti-Trump or positive. Just think about it as what needs to be done for the safety of our skies. So we have to think about it. We have to take politics completely out of it. Otherwise, that's the problem. Everything is politicized when it's nobody's fault because both parties have been in power for so long and the shit still hasn't been done. So it's everybody's fault. All right. This is Sean Duffy's plan. Sean Duffy was a congressman from Wisconsin. He has very little experience in aviation, very little experience in transportation at all. However, he was made transportation safety or secretary, and apparently having experience in transportation is not a requirement. So you may repeat. And go. You want to start reading?
Yeah, just going to blow my snout.
And yeah, we just need a new system. And this is a multifunctional, this is the system that they're planning. So just keep an open mind.
Oh, there's baby's good. Right. Introduction. Brand new air traffic control system. America is building again. Okay. Introduction. The Federal Aviation Administration faces a rapidly growing, complex, and demanding aviation sector. And with commercial air travel returning to pre-COVID levels and new entrants, including drones, advanced air mobility, and commercial space increasing. As the national airspace system users increase, the FAA's air traffic system is based on outdated technologies that are unable to meet the demands. These outdated systems are showing their age, which leads to delays and insufficiencies. The lack of funding for major investments in key air traffic infrastructure, such as radars, telecommunications, and facilities, is now putting the aviation sector at risk. To be clear, the NAS is safe. However, maintaining that safety will come at an expense of efficiencies, as the FAA will be forced to throttle down air traffic as outdated systems suffer from outages. It outlines a critical 3-year framework to reinvest in the national airspace system to support an emergency supplemental funding increase to safeguard this important national asset. The outage of critical air traffic control systems made international news in January 2023 when it caused the first nationwide ground stop since 9/11. The NOTAM system that failed, causing thousands of flights delays and cancellations, is just one of many crucial air traffic systems that, along with hundreds of facilities and thousands of pieces of infrastructure equipment, make up the NAS. Many of these systems, facilities, and equipment are decades old, antiquated, or obsolete, and have outlived their useful service lives. While the FAA has highlighted the need to replace these critical legacy systems, facilities, and equipment before the risk is greater now more than ever. Modernization of the NAS can no longer take 10 plus years to complete. It must be done now.
And that's one rabbit hole we can go down, is that NOTAM system.
Okay.
So that's yeah. Okay. There's one issue, Diana, and the air traffic control lawsuit that was started in 2015 is one rabbit hole that I started covering last year. It's the DEI policies that they instituted on how to change their hiring practices. But that's just one, even talking to Mr. Squid, that's just one facet. Even though he thinks that's a contributing factor, he thinks the technology is worse.
Carry on.
All right.
Yeah. Without modernization efforts, including upgrading technology, improving air traffic management, and enhanced safety measures, The risk of system failure, disruptions, and security vulnerabilities will only increase. The FAA's investment in infrastructure and technology are not just improvements. They are all critical to ensuring the reliability and safety of the aviation industry in the coming decades. The agency needs greater technology investments to better accommodate increasing commercial space launch and re-entry activities and unmanned aircraft systems activity, while ensuring that the U.S. aviation systems remain the safest in the world for flying for the flying public and globally competitive against aggressive foreign competitions. Fuck that comment there. A slow-paced modernization poses a higher risk because it extends the lifespan of unreliable. Hang on a minute. How the fuck? No, I don't agree with that comment. Right. While ensuring the U.S. aviation system remains the safest in the world for flying public and globally competitive against aggressive foreign competition, it shouldn't be a fucking competition. It's about the safety of people who use aircraft, who get into the plane.
That's true. I just think it when you're looking for, I always think I always think when you're trying to write something is a pitch. So think about what this is being written for.
Yeah.
So this is being written as a pitch to Congress.
Yeah.
So in Congress, you have to pitch is how they're going to make money. And by being competitive in the global space is how they're going to make money.
Okay.
So, like, you have to think about not only what the plan is, like how it's being written or who it's being written for. So, do I think that people believe everything that they put in, like a bill? Like, say Trump in this big, beautiful bill. Elon Musk hates it. I get it. I get why Elon Musk hates it. But you have to think about what Trump was up against in Congress. And, like, you have to kind of, like, meet people halfway and appease you have to appease the masses while getting what you want. Whereas Elon wanted it his way or the highway. I kind of get why it was done that way. Like, I hate it that it was done that way. But I understand the thought process because everybody wants their piece of the pie. And, you know, like, I get it. So, like, you have to, when I read these things, I'm like, you have to think about who this is being written for and what their end game is. And you have to tailor it. It's creative writing in the sense of it's persuasive writing. I'm persuading Congress to give me the money for this. And how am I going to persuade Congress? By making sure that we're number one in the world. Whether it's true, whether it needs to be said or not, that's how I'm going to persuade the small dicks in Congress. You know, that's how I'm going to persuade, you know, the people that need to have a dick swinging contest.
Mm. But I'll carry on. I get what you said, but I just found that comment a little bit.
I don't like it that it's written that way, but like,
yeah.
When you think about if it was written towards me, or if I was writing you a letter versus if I was writing Mr. Squid a letter, I'd write that shit completely different.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Versus if I was writing a letter to like try to get into Harvard versus writing a letter to like work at the post office. Like I you know. Yeah, the infamous we have to pass it in order to read it. You know, that. Oh, yeah.
Right. A slow-paced modernization poses a higher risk because it extends the lifespan of unreliable, inefficient systems, amplifying safety, economic and security vulnerabilities in the era of growing air traffic and cyber threats. Rapid, safe, well-managed modernization, despite short-term challenges, it is less risky as it aligns with the growing aviation demands and global standards. The investment will enhance operational efficiency, reduce flight delays, improve safety outcomes, and support the growing demand in commercial aviation and emerging entrants. While tackling these challenges will not be easy, either politically or financially, now is the time to make the FAA funding needs a priority. Over the past 15 years, the annual appropriation to the Facilities of Equipment F&E account used to sustain and improve most FAA's air traffic control infrastructures has remained essentially flat at approximately $3 billion per year. The stagnant funding has caused the FAA to lose about $1 billion in purchase power due to inflation, as the agency seeks to maintain aging systems and infrastructure and meet ambitious goals to modernize the system for increased safety and efficiency of the NAS. Given the current conditions of the FAA's infrastructure, we can no longer wait for funding levels to slowly catch up to the need. We need an immediate infusion of funding to address critical infrastructure needs. State-of-the-art ATC systems. The FAA proposes supplementary funding in comprehensive 3-year framework. This framework seeks to transform the United States air traffic control system from its current and antiquated state to a modern system capable of meeting the demands of today and the future. This proposal will build a new state-of-the-art air traffic control system in 3 years that will enhance the safety and efficiency of our nation's airspace. The investments are crucial for several reasons. 1 second. Invest in systems replaced for more resilient NAS. Without this funding, risk to the agency's critical safety and efficiency systems will continue to increase. Reference GAA report of air traffic control FAA actions are urgently needed to modernize aging systems. GAA 24-10-7001, September 2023. September 23rd, 2024. As the system's infrastructure deteriorates and continues, which would have far-reaching consequences. This funding needed includes investment critical to replacing the FAA communications and surveillance infrastructure. With the additional funding, the agency can plan for a systematic approach to move in telecommunications from outdated copper lines to fiber and replace it outdated airborne and surface radar systems to ensure the safety remains at the forefront of technology capabilities and safety standards. So, accelerating and modernizing the agency's telecommunication system, including air-to-ground radio communication and data, to provide a faster and more reliable network is paramount. Couldn't agree anymore. Tools to support now this is when we're getting into the nitty-gritty. Tools to support air traffic controllers. The agency must take critical investments to provide the modern tools necessary for controllers to address increasing complexities and traffic in the NAS. The critical voice switch replacement program will be fully supported, providing controllers with more flexibility. VoIP-based communication systems, in addition, surface surveillance tools, including those with more complexity safety logic, would be deployed with additional funding. Improved safety at over 200 airport surfaces at those airports that currently do not have surveillance systems. Improved surveillance of airport surfaces was a key outcome for the safety summit that occurred after the near runway misses, including in Austin, Texas. Finally, deploying additional technology to the Caribbean and Alaska to provide accurate real-time surveillance and weather information for air traffic control and pilots will ensure safe and efficient flights for these critical locations.
I mean, and that's important, but like, think about 200 airport surfaces that don't have surface surveillance systems.
Yeah.
In 2025.
And also, you have to take into consideration. I mean, I'm not saying people, are not trained correctly. However, with this type of job as an air traffic controller, you have to take into consideration anyone who served in the military. When you've done a course and you return from that course, everything is fresh in your mind. For the first couple of months, everything is fresh. And if you stay in a habit, right, and you update yourself, the problem is you're going to have skill fade. No matter what you do in any type of job, you're going to have skill fade. You're going to get into bad habits. You're going to find shortcuts and things like that. right? Anyone with a driving license or any type of driving license, pilot's license, or anything else, right? When you first became a driver or a pilot, right, you're following the system. Then you start finding little shortcuts. Then you have then you turn, you got your own little abbreviations. You don't drive the way you were taught. You're now driving, right, in your own comfort. Now, for air traffic controllers, they have to be on the ball all the time. One mistake. So skill fade is a big issue, a very big issue. That's what I've got from that. Well,
the thing I got from that was the video we watched or listened to at the start of this stream. Yeah. That was one of those airports that doesn't have airport surface surveillance, and But
that was 26 years ago, Squid. So obviously, somewhere down the line, you need to have that evolution in technology, the evolution in training, and everything else. And from 1999, 26 years later, we're still having the same issues.
It's and that's the rabbit hole of the money, $3 billion a year. Where does it go?
Yeah. Can you just? I need to hit the head. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll read. All right. New innovative systems investments. Industry has long requested that the FAA accelerate investments to improve efficiencies in the NAS. Additional funding will allow for Terminal Flight Data Manager, TFDM, to be deployed at additional airport sites. The tool deploys electronic flight strips, which will sunset the antiquated paper strips. Oh, paper strips are a nightmare. My mom can tell you all about paper strips. All about paper strips. Moreover, the increasing funding level for capital programs will enable the FAA to modernize current systems that utilize archaic technology, such as floppy disks and compact disks used in the Oasis systems in Alaska, and the numerous information display systems used across the NAS. Advancing the current traffic flow management system to a more high-tech system, flow management and data will enable integrated capabilities that will provide reliable, consistent operational system-wide views, greater operational decision-making, and more system usability that provides more efficient use of the NAS, sunsetting these outdated technologies for more advanced technologies that allow the FAA to enable superior enhancements for the future. Finally, to ensure the FAA maintains global leadership in ultra-modern safety technology, the agency will focus on updating the current automation platforms from the 1990s with a common automation platform for the in-route and terminal operating environments within the NAS. This strategic program is aimed at optimizing operational efficiency, reducing operating costs, right there, and enhancing system adaptability and interoperability. In addition to higher funding levels, this framework proposes that the agency create a new budget account to address these capital needs. This would bring greater transparency, which is always a good thing, and allow the agency to easily track and monitor the cost of these updates over the coming years. And I'm all for that. I'm all for being able to track and know where your money is going.
I thought they were doing that. I thought they like when Mr. Trump and Mr. Musk were talking about, I can't remember what the name is. I thought they were now going to be more transparent in where funds are going. So, that's a good thing, if it actually, if in realistic terms it happens. But here's the problem that I've got with what we've read or what we've discussed so far. Why is this happening now? Why didn't this happen years ago? Why hasn't there been a continuous influx of
greed, and people pushing it off to we're always a reactive. We make decisions reactively, not proactively.
Yeah.
And Roy brings up a good point. Funding levels don't matter unless Congress can't touch the money.
Yeah, but but on what Roy's, that's a good comment. But here's my counter argument on that: is Congress? I mean, there should be a independent body, right, governed by whoever. There should be an independent body that is responsible and only responsible for the FAA, for NOTAM, for everything in regards of air traffic. All this, because if you've got the old saying, too many hands in the cake, too many fingers in the cake. Yeah, because the thing is, the problem is you've experienced this in the military. I've experienced it in the military. Anyone who's been served, there's too many chiefs and not enough Indians. You remember that saying?
How many people does it take to light bulb? Change the light bulb? One person to do it, and 20 people to tell you fucking how.
Exactly. I mean, it's like, oh, let's change a tire on a freaking 1-ton trailer. You got 6 guys watching. You got one guy freaking barking orders, and then you got 2 people just ignoring everybody and just changing a tire. This is the problem. You need an independent body besides the FAA, who basically just go right. And they are the ones who are responsible to ensure that air traffic controls are getting the money for the training, air traffic control towers are getting updated, and there has to be an independent body to deal with this. Congress shouldn't have anything to do with it. Congress are responsible to give you the check. They give that check to that.
Congress is useless because they're all about themselves. Congress is useless. They're all about themselves and worrying about getting reelected, not actually doing anything while they're there.
Well, this is where, I mean, because at the end of the day, when you've got 230 or 300 people on a plane, that's including crew, right, flying in the air. Who's going to take the responsibility of those lives? That's the question that should be asked. You should walk into Congress and say, right, are you going to be responsible to tell all those families that? Are you going to be? And anyone who says no, get them out, vote them out. Anyway, do you want me to carry on reading?
Yes, please.
Okay. Telecommunications. The FAA urgent transitions from please hold. The FAA's urgent transitions from time division multiplexing (TDM) to Internet Protocol (IP) on its FAA telecommunications infrastructure (FTI) network is essential to safeguard the national airspace system, which underpins 1.6 trillion. Get the fuck what? In annual economic activities to support 10 million aviation and related jobs. The current FTI network dates to 2002 and is heavily dependent on obsolete 1960s TDM technology across over 30,000 services. I should have read this before. I'm reading it out. At 4,600 sites. The network faces an accelerated phase-out of this antiquated technology by telecommunication providers, with a major carrier July 2024 notice indicated that 33% of NAS services are at risk of discontinuance up to up to 2 years earlier than anticipated, coupled with new monthly obsolescence fees and no guarantees of performance or support. This situation, echoed by other providers, jeopardizes the critical communication for air traffic control, risking delays, safety issues, and significant economic impacts. To mitigate these threats, the FAA is accelerating the adoption of IP-based technologies, including fiber connections, wireless solutions, and satellite systems. While upgrade, we'll come back to that. That's another rabbit hole. While upgrading over 80 FAA systems, voice switches, and radios to native IP interfaces to ensure reliability, enhance cybersecurity, and to provide scalabilities. Without adequate funding, however, the FAA faces substantial challenges in completing this transition in time to avert potential service outages, which could severely disrupt the NAS pivotal role in the U.S. aviation, national security, and economic prosperity. Under the FAA's current projected program plan, based on historical F&E appropriations, the full TDM transition to IP would not be complete until 2038, incurring hundreds of millions of dollars in expenses. Holy shit, a brick.
The problem is with putting this off for so long, it's become more and more expensive to redo it all because.
Yep. And how many? And here's right here. I've got a 2-point question. This is where we need to go down a rabbit hole. The first
this right
question,
here, Roy's comment. Wireless. Look at how often you lose Wi-Fi at home.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. The 2 points that I read: wireless solutions and satellite systems. Now, anyone who had a GPS on operations, or even if you're at home, you're driving your car, right? We used to, in the British Armed Forces, we have a thing called telemetric system. In each white fleet, not in green fleet, but in white fleet, there's a little tracker, right? And it's called a telemetric system. It has to be calibrated if we were allowed to do it every day. However, it's calibrated once a month. And I'm going to give you an example. One of the guys, I had to rip him a new one because apparently he was speeding in a 30-mile-an-hour road. However, he was on a road close to Salisbury Plain, and he was driving to drop off the food, the range food for the guys, and apparently he was doing 70+ miles in a 30. So I got asked to rip him a new one. However, before I did that, I went and checked. I asked the master driver to send me a copy of that day. He sent me a copy of that day. Then I checked the map, the Google map, and I checked like AA, travel. And it turns out there was a national speed limit dual carriageway right next to the road that he was driving on. The telemetric system put him on that dual carriageway, but he was driving right on the other way around. He was on a dual carriageway, but it put him on the 30-mile-an-hour strip road. And because he had to come down the dual carriageway and then come off at the next large roundabout. And then when I said that back, they were like, "Oh, right, okay." And then they calibrated it, and then he drove down it again, and this time it showed. That there is going to cause so many problems, satellite and Wi-Fi. Like Roy hit the nail on the head. How many times is your Wi-Fi? How many times have you lost Wi-Fi connection?
A lot.
Yeah. All right. What about like if you drive into a tunnel, how quick do you lose satellite connection to your GPS? Or you drive through, or you drive in a major city around buildings, right? These buildings have metal structures inside them. Yeah. That there rabbit hole, very deep. I'm not going alone. I need a tank for that one.
It's a
yeah. It's I mean
there's numerous places to like fall down rabbit holes.
Yeah, I mean even cable.
That's the problem.
I mean even like, cable as well. Squid.
And that's where redundancy is going to have to be a plan. And it's like nothing is perfect.
No. So good.
Nothing is perfect, but it's like with keeping some of the same systems that we have now as like the backup, because they do kind of work. They're just not great.
I mean, the thing, and something I just thought of. I mean, I don't know if Mama Squid's here or Dad Squid can answer this for you. But if you're going to update the ATC and grounds, TCAS and everything else, you would then have to spend billions or millions and billions to update aircraft as well, because everything has to be on the same. They have to be able to communicate.
True, but here's the thing. I think aircraft, from what I know about the aircraft systems right now, the aircraft systems are already capable of it. They're far ahead of where the air traffic control, like the technology in the aircraft is a lot farther ahead than the technology in the towers. So it's
sorry, I'm going to ask you.
I don't think that that'll be as hard as we think it will be, because I think the ATC now has to catch up to the planes.
Right, let me just think, because there's something I want to bring up, and then I'll carry on reading if you want me to. I can't remember, because I'm not a pilot. Maybe Mama Squid or you probably might know. There is a device, if an aircraft doesn't have a squawk or a transponder or something in it, there's a thing that you can attach or you can put in the aircraft, and what it does, it then pings your. It's like a tracking system, right? You still got your TCAS and you still got your squawk settings and everything else, but this thing, you put it in and it's like a. I need to do. I'll do some research and I'll come back on you. But yes, I think that some aircraft that have come out this day and age are way advanced than the ATC at the moment. And let's just remember, this is not just about the United States as well. This is around the world. So if it's that bad in the States, what's around here? Do you want me to carry on?
Yes, please.
Okay. Radio communication, voice communication is critical to the air traffic control, ATC, in the United States because it serves as the primary real-time method of controllers to issue instructions, coordinate aircraft movement, and ensure safety across the NAS. It enables precise, immediate exchanges between controllers and pilots, which we heard earlier on. Went really fucking well there, didn't it? Conveying clearances, weather updates, and emergency directives that automation alone cannot fully replicate. Like that pilot saying, yeah, I'm not fucking moving this plane until that plane's off the runway. Again, from that video earlier on. Specifically, the dynamic or non-routine situations, radios and voice switches, along with telecommunications, enable the critical service. The FAA must transition its radios to newer equipment to address the obsolescence, reliability issues, and cybersecurity vulnerabilities of aging radio equipment, and to ensure safe and efficient air traffic communication and NAS. And I know what they're talking about, because when I was a kid, I was able to get any normal radio and tune it in to police radio signals, and you could listen to the police on the radio. Legacy radios, some over 30 years old, rely on outdated analog technology, leading to frequent outages, high maintenance costs due to the scarce parts, and incompatibilities with modern digital standards like VoIP. Newer equipment being deployed as part of the FAA's NEXCOM program offers improved clarity, reliability, and spectrum efficiency, critical for managing increasing air traffic. These digital systems enhance cybersecurity, reduce risks that were highlighted in the GAO reports on the FAA's vulnerability IT, and enable integration with advanced automations for real-time data sharing. The transition targeting the replacement of over 25,000 radios is vital for maintaining controller-pilot communication, reducing delays, and aligning with global aviation standards. The FAA also urgently needs to replace its legacy voice switches, some nearly 30 years old, due to their obsolescence, high maintenance costs, and critical vulnerabilities that threaten the safety and efficiency of the NAS. These aging systems, which nearly 800 switches across en route, terminal, and air traffic control tower facilities, rely on outdated analog technology, making them prone to failure. They lack the flexibility to support modern air traffic demands, such as dynamic sectorization or integration with technologies like VoIP. and are increasingly difficult to maintain due to scarce spare parts and retiring skilled personnel. I just read that shit before. The FAA voice, the voice program transitioning to digital VoIP enabled switches aims to rapidly enhance reliability, resilience, and control efficiency, aligning with modernization goals to ensure safe air travel. However, under FAA's current projected program plan based on historical F&E appropriations, radio communication programs, including voice switch, would not be complete until 2037 at the earliest. Oh, Jesus Christ. Surveillance. Surveillance. The FAA maintained hundreds of surveillance systems across the nation, including airborne and surface systems. These systems, deployed over many decades beginning in the 1970s, are critical tools used by air traffic controllers to maintain air traffic safety and efficiently. FAA surveillance systems provide safety-critical information to air traffic controllers, including an aircraft position and identity, as well as weather information. FAA airborne radar systems provide a backup to automatic dependent surveillance broadcast information, providing essential information in the event of a GPS degradation. As the 618 FAA airborne radar system exceeds their intended lifespan, outages increase in frequency and duration, and service restorations becomes more difficult as antiquated components become increasingly difficult to obtain. The absence of critical aircraft position and identity information increased the risk of airborne collisions. Oh, Jesus. Well, we just saw something like that, and results in increased separations requirements, reduced operational efficiency. As radar systems components reach their end of life, the FAA modernizes, but has been unable to fully modernize due to funding limitations. Wait, what? Didn't they say earlier on it was $3 billion? Anyway, this had led to over 12 different configurations of airborne surveillance in the NAS. The variety of configurations creates complexity in training technicians, logistics, sparing, and support. This modernization effort will move from 12 different configurations to, at most, 2 of the cutting-edge radars. Surface movement radar, critical to ASDX and ASSC service safety systems, directly impact airport efficiency and safety. Any degradations reduces throughput, cause significant operational delays. Upgrading this radar technology at the 44 airports must be prioritized to sustain high-volume airport operations and ensure safety for airports. ADXX and ASSC provide a real-time safety information for traffic control. Now,
here's my mom brought up a really good point. Mama said things like, this is why people we don't believe we made it to the moon. My mom brought up a really good point.
Yeah.
Says that's because there are way too many planes in the air compared to spaceships. When one plane is delayed due to ATC hold, every plane is affected. You know how many times I've heard passengers complain that, oh, it's like the plane's fine. Like, where's Avery, girl? Like the plane is here. The plane's here. Why can't we go? Well, your pilot is coming from another city. The plane might be here, but your pilot is on hold in another city. Like you. So it's not always about like where you are. It's about everybody else. Like there's the people that are like, well, the weather's fine. Yeah, the weather's fine here, but where your plane is coming from, the weather sucks. And it's like one 5 a.m. flight that got delayed because of weather screws up everything throughout the entire day. And that's what people don't take into account when things are delayed. And then with the technology being so behind, it takes a lot of manpower and money to try to figure out all this.
Yeah, but can I play devil's advocate for a second?
Yes.
What I can't understand is this. Either people are naive or thick, or if you know that you've got these issues, and like you can't tell me that anyone in the FAA or who's responsible for upgrading and updating the system, if you know that aircraft are becoming more and more modern, right, and they've got their systems like the TCAS, and some planes can even land themselves. Here's my two-part question. One, are they relying way too much on the aircraft and the technology that the aircraft, or two, because they've realized that the aircraft have become more modern, but they've sort of like been dragging their feet to update the systems. Now, suddenly, with everything that's going on, suddenly they want to do everything yesterday, and now it's going to take probably 10 or 15 years, or probably even longer, to get the system up to where it should be to correspond with the technology that's in the aircraft. So, why are they dragging their feet? All this, realistically, all this should have been done each year. Each year they should have went, right, okay, today, this year we're going to deal with radar system. Next year, and then once they've done that, they'll start with the ground tracking systems, and then they're going to start with a voice system, and they're going to start with this. It seemed to be like there's a disconnect between the evolution of ATC and everything else and actual aircraft being built. So is there a disconnect between manufacturers of aircraft and countries' FAA, or what's going on here? Because there's
a massive disconnect between technology in the aircraft, technology in the towers, the knowledge of the people maintaining the aircraft, the knowledge of the controllers, and the government. And when the government gets involved, everything goes to shit.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, people like your mom and a couple of other people mentioned about, about the amount of aircraft that now exists. Yeah, okay, in the 40s and in the 50s and the 60s, there wasn't that many aircraft, but the system worked. Yes, but there were still incidents. There were still accidents. There always has been. Even first World War, Second World War, before people started flying, there were accidents because of lack of communication, because one system wasn't at the same level as the other. What they're saying here is like, oh yeah, we're about 20. It's like, perfect example is like when the East Berlin Wall went down. East Germany were 20 to 30 years behind of West Germany, and that in the same town. So here you're saying, like, well, for me, from what I've read, right, the ATC system over there is 20 plus years behind. I don't know. That's my opinion.
You heard it here first. What do you have to say? Are you going to work in aviation? Are you going to fix all this crap? Yeah.
You're braver than most people there, baby squid. You're braver than most people.
See, I'm not scared of anything, even though I should be. See, I started doing handstands on the couch. Yep.
Do you want me to carry on, or shall we call it?
I can. We can call it a day.
Yeah. I mean, we are on page 5, and we are at Wildy ASDX.
Yep. We can call this a day.
Yeah. So.
All right. Yeah, we're not afraid of anything except naps. Thanks, Jeffrey.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
With everything that happened, post 9/11, with all the security levels they do when people go into airports and stuff like that, I just can't get my head around that they basically haven't upgraded any of this stuff. I just don't get it.
It was all the planes, not the air traffic control. It's all the planes. It's all the planes. Everybody's focused on the planes. Nobody's focused on the controllers. Everybody's focused on the planes. It's all the planes. It's all the planes. It's like
and now and here's
everybody's so narrowly focused, and I think that's where I like my brain functions differently. I don't know if it's the 2 head injuries or the brain surgery, but I have a problem narrowing down to focus. I'm always like big picture, always almost to a fault. So it,
But the thing, what really gets my goat going is that they're talking about only a specific amount of airports. Excuse me, and they're only talking about a certain amount of airports. Every freaking place where a plane can land needs to go through the freaking system. It needs to be. You can't have one rule for one and a different rule for everyone else, because it won't work. There are people.
And that's where the funding comes, and that's why they need all the funding that they're asking for. Yeah. And that's the problem.
This is freaking insane. And I have research on over here in the UK or in Europe. I dare not reading this. I don't want to.
Do I have to send you both links and have you fight it out on stream? Just kidding.
Well,
Army or Navy and Marines always bickering like a old married couple.
Just throw crayons and a fucking doll. Right, one of them will pick the doll up and say, he touched me here, and here, and the other one will be chewing away, going, red crayon.
What scares me is when a plane flushes the toilet, you might not want to look up. No, you just don't want to be the ramper that has to be in labs that day because you leave work smelling like shit. Ask me how I know.
So
worst part about being a ramp is working in laboratories.
I mean, Squid, we've covered a lot of stuff about aviation. I'm going to give you my opinion about all this. If human life or the safety of passengers and people who are in the aircraft, may they be crew or passenger, if all this here, this man sausage swinging competition is more important than the well-being and the safety of passengers, then you have definitely got a serious problem.
It's always about the money. The first thing Mr. Squid told me, follow the money. Follow the money. Where's the money going? Follow the money.
Oh, we need to do a catch up on the New York incident.
Yeah. Yeah, Mama Squid with the blue juice. Thanks for reminding me of that nightmare I lived through for a year. Ugh. I only had to do labs twice, though, and it was the worst 2 days of my life. So, all right, we will pick this up on the next time we do this. I have a bunch of notes that we need to start investigating.
Yeah, wait a minute, just let me
rabbit holes, and then we will look at where after we get through this and we get through some of these rabbit holes, we will start looking at where the money is going, because that's a rabbit hole in itself.
Well, obviously, it's not going to where it's supposed to be going.
If you want to see how the U.S. government's been spending your money, stick around. I will be more than happy to tell you how the government wastes your money.
$3 freaking billion, though. $3 billion. That's not freaking pocket money, is it?
Nope.
I mean, wait, $3 billion, is that just for these 44 airports, or sorry?
No, that's the whole thing per year. I'll have to look at the numbers specifically in the budget over the last few years. Angel, but we will.
Yeah.
Because there's been, and then I have to contact that dude that I found on Facebook. I have to see if he's willing to talk to me. Because if he's willing to talk to me, then, we have an insider, someone who worked Army ATC. So it should be. It's just It's just when the government gets involved in things, they screw things up. But like, it's interesting to me how people are trying to play politics and blaming Trump or blaming Biden. It's like this has nothing to do with either of them. The only thing you can blame Biden for was that the man's been in politics for 50 years, and that's how old our technology is. So you could blame him for that he's done nothing to help this problem in 50 years. However, like, you have to blame Congress going back at least 30 years. So it's like when you enter my chat, I love you guys, and this is the time to, where I lean politically. However, this is the time where we don't need to put we need to put names and who we support or don't support aside and just think about what is needed for the greater good and actually put our country first and what's the safety of our citizens first, and not, I hate this person because they voted for this. I hate this person because they said this.
Well said.
For once, put all that shit aside. And that's what I'm hoping to do with my platform. I'm trying to make it to 4K, and I don't know if these streams are going to help me make it to 4K, but we're trying to make it to 4K. But I'm trying to use the subscriber count that I've gained from the other topics, the drama topics, to bring attention to this shit. Because this is the stuff that you see on Fox News or you see on CNN, but you see the spin that those people are putting on it. I'm reading the actual documents straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, and telling you what they're saying and what they want. We're not putting a spin on it. We're reading the damn documents.
And you think that, like, these people would, if you can imagine this document being discussed on Newsnight or on these news broadcasters, like how quick the system would then go, yep. And it's really strange because the moment you put people under the spotlight, or you put a system or government under the spotlight, especially with something like this, you watch how quick they start getting things done. It's really strange. I mean, like Jeff.
Well, you'll hear about it, but you have time slots. You only hear about it for 2 minutes. Yeah. They won't spend an hour and a half going through the actual document from the transportation department and try to give you like the backstory on where this all started. And, and whatever you think of the Trump administration, love them or hate them, don't care. I personally don't care what your political leanings are, but you have to admit one thing. This is the first administration in my 39 years that has actually said, we're going to do this, and here you go. Whether you like it or not, they've said, we're going to have a plan to upgrade, we're going to upgrade, in his thing.
Yeah, but don't forget, people are not used to that. It's like a shock to their system.
And that's what people are fighting about.
Yeah.
But like, Dale, I keep going up. Like, I'll go up to like 39.70, and then I'll go back down to like 39.56. Like, I'll go up to 39.70, and I'll go down to 39.50. Like, I keep doing this. Like, I'm hovering at like 39.60. Like, I can't,
I mean, it's like Roy hit the nail on the head. In the military, he was a tanker, you're Navy, I was Army. And like, if there was something wrong with a vehicle, and we knew that there was already a demand for a new vehicle or a new part way before things started going wrong. By the time you got the new part, you just freaking fixed the vehicle, and Bob's your uncle. Yeah, you can now carry on. Here, it's the opposite way around. But from what I've read so far, it's like too little, too late. I mean, like, I heard Jeffrey Montgomery said something earlier on. Right, could be asking the question, what software are they using and what kind of testing are they going through? That's a really good question, because I've heard rumors, don't quote me on this, that they use Windows. I don't think it's Windows 95 or something like that, or something later, but they use Windows. And then they've got a separate program system or setup for their radar system. So there's like multiple different programs they're running.
Yeah, and Jeffrey, is Squid, could that be the what the hell's ecosystem trying to hide they're watching your streams? Maybe. Because I've literally heard that someone just wrote me a huge thing on Twitter. I have to actually read. It's like a mile long thing of someone I've been in contact with about a topic. But someone said, have I watched a certain person's streams? And I said, no, I don't watch people. I tend not to watch streams who don't like me. That's why I don't watch the fleas. Like, that's why I don't watch, I don't watch anybody. Like, I don't watch people's streams who tend to hate me. Like, because I talked about it earlier. Like, I don't give those people mental energy, because when someone doesn't like you, especially someone who's never met you in person, you're never going to make someone who doesn't know you and who doesn't want to take the time to get to know you, you're never going to make them like you. So why waste the time? Like, why waste mental energy on them? So I don't watch them, because that's mental energy that I would rather give to my fiance. That's mental energy I would rather give to my daughter. Mm-hmm. I would rather give to my mother. That's mental energy I would rather put into my channel. That's not, I don't have the bandwidth to spend on people who don't like me. So that's part of the reason why they don't bother me, is because, like, I don't have the mental bandwidth to spend. But I got a message that this person told me that a certain channel was starting to talk about parasocial relationships. And it was like, oh, thank you for letting me know you're watching my channel. Yeah. Thank you for letting me know you're copying me.
Can I very quickly, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
I am really, really happy today. I was really, really happy because I was going to do a game stream. Needed to say a couple of things, that some people don't like. However, I had the biggest surprise ever. I had the biggest smile on my face. Your mum came into my stream and said hello to me. Yay! I was well chuffed. At first, I thought it was you, and I was going to high school. Hello, Mama Screen.
My mom was on summer vacation. So my mom works in the school system. So the schools around here are on summer vacation. So my mom has a lot of time on her hands now. Yeah, so you'll see my mom in chats more often because she's home.
Good.
She doesn't work. She doesn't work in the summertime. She gets paid in the summertime, but she doesn't work in the summertime.
But that really did put a smile on my face, because, like, when she came, I thought it was you at first, and I went, hang a minute, you're not blue. Oh, it's Mama Squid. Because all I saw was squid. I didn't see the mama bit. And I was like, oh. So, yeah, big hugs to Mama Squid for coming in and putting a smile on my face. Like everyone does, put a smile on my face. But, yeah.
I'm currently at 39.58. And Gail, parasocial relationships are a hard topic to talk about with chat, because it's like, I don't want to offend anybody in chat. It's not my goal to offend anybody in chat by saying, like, you guys really don't know me. That's not my goal. My goal is to like I realized it in myself when people like Tug, like I thought Tug and I were going to be closer. Like, when he was going to read my emails, I thought he was going to, like, invite me on his stream because, like, something, and he never did. And I was like, I was kind of offended by that. And I'm like, why am I offended by something he didn't do anything? Like, he didn't do anything to me. Like, why am I offended by something he didn't even do? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not his fault. That's an internal problem with me. Like, that's not something for me to be mad at him for because he didn't do anything. That's an internal problem where I need to look inside myself and fix me. That's where people are like, it's not me, it's you. It's not you, it's me. Like, this is a me problem. Like, that's not a Tug problem. Like, would I have loved to get invited on Tug's stream like Shizzy? Of course. However, like, am I offended that like Tug and I thought Tug and I were going to be much closer friends than we don't know because I had an abnormal parasocial relationship. I thought that because he liked my channel, that he was actually going to like me as a person. And it's like, does he hate me? Probably not. But are we friends? No. Like, I had an abnormal way of thinking. And that's why Mr. Squid was like, why do you care? And that's why I was like, you know what? That's why I was like, just stop. Like, so I see it with, and someone brought up a good point in my on a sarcastic. She was like, she doesn't think it's the parasocial relationships with the Lynette thing, but like, it was like, yeah, but I don't think it's the whole thing, but it could be a reason why people are getting personally invested because people have a parasocial relationship with Jeremy. People have a parasocial relationship with Megan. People have a parasocial relationship with Tug. I see it in the chats. And I can see it because I was it. When I started my channel and I expected people who I was in their chats and I got recognition in their chats all the time. And I expected to be friends with them when I created my channel and I wasn't. It was like, that's not of them being mean to me. That's just of them living their lives.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, that's just like, when someone else lives their life, that's not them hating on me. That's just them living their life. They're not purposely excluding me from something. And me thinking that they're purposely excluding from me is a problem in my own mind. It's not a problem with them. And that's what I think people on the internet, especially on YouTube where people interact with chats, people have this abnormal relationship with creators where it's like you think you're closer to the creators than you really are. And it's like, yes, some people I do, you know what I mean? Like, I just use Tug as an example because he's one person that I don't talk to. But like, do I hate him? Absolutely not. Do we talk? No. Was I offended that he didn't invite me on his stream like he did Shizzy? Of course. But is that a Tug's problem? No, that's a me problem. That's like, I'm being offended is an internal issue with me. And then I was like, why am I offended by that? Shizzy's been doing this for years. I've been doing this less than a year. I haven't earned my stripes. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Can I add something to that? What you've just been saying?
Yeah.
Like when I'm with you, when you invite me onto your stream, I'm here to not just as a guest, but also to help you with the general investigating and discussion of these topics. Now, comments have been made about, like, you know, oh, by the way, just be careful, I may take over your stream, just for the record. But the thing is, what people don't seem to understand is that cough it up. When I met Squid, obviously we got to know each other. We had a bit of banter and things like that. And just like with Squid, with other people, we've gone past that power, whatever you want to call it. We talk, we're friends, and we communicate. And sometimes she'll say something that I don't appreciate, or I say something that she doesn't, and we talk about it like adults, and we communicate, and we build a relationship, a friendship. And then because the thing is, when we are on our streams, we discuss, you know, we are like this, we discuss the topics at hand. But when we are behind the scene, we are talking like two normal human beings, and that's called a build-up of a friendship. Now, if I get invited, and I'll be very honest with you, I was extremely shocked that, you know, with my coughing and with my vulgarity and the certain terminologies I use, I was very surprised to be invited onto this platform by Squid. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to be myself. I'm not going to be Spawntrooper. I'm going to be me. And here we are, weeks and months down the road. And the thing is, at the end of the day, yeah, some people assume that, like, I'm entitled to go on that platform. I'm entitled to do this. I'm entitled to that. No. at the end of the day, if someone says no, you have to accept that. The internet is a complete different world to when if I met people I speak to in person, they probably might take one look and go, yeah, fuck that. I'm going to exit left and run. Because, you know, one, I'm not a small guy. Two, I do say it as it is. But when we are sitting together on this platform talking about these topics, all the negativity and all the theater stuff goes out. And people will accept me for who I am. I will accept them for who they are. And you have to accept the fact that me and Squid are sitting on this platform talking about these topics.
Well, here's the thing, Stephen. I watch different content creators for different reasons. Sincerely, I enjoy your insight specifically because you're unique. Well, I've always had this thing about, like, I don't want to be the same as every other content creator, because here's the thing. If Spawn and I are covering the same topic and we talk about it exactly the same way, why are you watching me instead of him? Why are you watching him instead of me? Like, when you hear everybody say the same thing over and over again, it's boring as shit. But, like, try to be different. That's why I cover smaller trials. That's why I cover different things. That's why, that's why I just shoot the shit sometimes. Because I just don't want to be the same as everybody else. Because if I'm the same as everybody else, that's not going to help my channel grow. Because if I'm the same as everybody else, like Flux, I love her. But if I was the same as Flux has an established channel. She's had a channel for years. Why not just watch Flux? Why watch Flux instead of me? Or why watch me instead of Flux? Like, you have to find what your niche is. And the people that are like, Spawn takes over your channel, you do realize that when y'all have to realize that when we talk on the phone, how many times can you stop interrupting me? So it's just
I mean, I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes when Squid and I talk, I don't get a fucking word in sideways. I'm sitting there and I'm like going, I'll just wait. Like I do here. I'll just wait. You know, I'll just sit.
Sometimes literally he goes, "Are you done?" He goes, "Are you going to breathe? You're going to breathe?" So, like, literally, like, this is a friendship. Like, this is genuine and interaction. Like, he's even talked to Mr. Squid. He's talked to my mom. The little talks to him.
But the thing is, it's like, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. When this is the perfect example that I'm with a lot of people. When I'm alone with someone and we're talking like off screen and stuff like that, it's a complete different atmosphere. There's no need to put on a bravado, or there's no need to put up a facade. It's you talking to another person. And yeah, I mean, we've had funny moments. You know, like I've had a full-blown conversation with Baby Squid, and I've had a conversation with Mama Squid, and with her fella, and it's a normal thing.
And right now, with my voice like this, I have no problem with people taking over my, like, people taking the lead when we're talking about something, because it's like, I mean, I'm getting better. It's just taking its dear sweet freaking time.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's why I put this picture up. At 7 p.m. I'm going to wrestle loathing. I mean, look. Okay, I think that the biggest issue, excuse me, the biggest issue that I think I can say quite happily is that emotions will always cause the problems. However, the only person who can deal with that issue is the individual who is becoming emotional. These topics here with the NTSB reports and everything else, these are serious topics, and these are the topics that you should not be, using your own narrative or trying to take it out of context. And on multiple occasions, we've both sort of derailed each other and gone down these rabbit holes. And then after the stream, when we have a debrief or pre-brief, we go, yeah, next time we need to do that, and that, because we don't want to take you down a rabbit hole that then confuses the crap out of you. So, and that's why we try to keep it as to the point as possible.
Yeah, and this time we agreed that I would write down rabbit holes, and that we would write down rabbit holes that we would investigate for another time. We would discuss what we were reading, but we would
do it
save
offline.
jumping down rabbit holes for another stream.
And then
there are too many to.
Yeah, and also you have to take into consideration we have covered 1, 2, 3, 4. We've covered probably 3 major incidents, and we've covered a couple of other things, and we're not finished yet with Bat 25 and that flight. We're not finished with the incident, the Delta incident. We're not finished with the New Jersey incident. We haven't even touched the Philadelphia one, because obviously that is a very delicate topic, and we both agreed that we're going to avoid that incident. There's still a lot that we have to still research, and and then today we thought we would do this one, which is, I must admit, my head is pounding a little bit reading that. 3 million.
Well, I was just looking at my Facebook feed, and somebody posted something that kind of relates to what I said earlier. This is posted by Ben Ferguson. Trump is not wrong. Elon is not wrong. Elon is working under the assumption that Congress actually wants to do the job and wants to save our country. Trump is working under the reality that these people are absolute scum, and you cannot get anything perfect passed through the current legislators. We'd all love a bill that eliminates the entire IRS, gets rid of the poor and government, and completely guts the administrative state. However, he wouldn't get 20 votes in the House. The bill on the floor is about as good as it is going to get with the current crap of Congress. I'd rather have that than nothing. Elon's not wrong, and he's not our enemy. It's kind of very well put. Like, Elon's not wrong. Elon's just working in like a utopia. Trump is working in a reality that these people are shit. And
don't forget, both of them. Don't forget, both of them are businessmen. Both of them have ran businesses. Both have had multi-billion-dollar businesses, right? And I think this is a benefit to the States, that you do have someone who's done business in their past civil life. But I'm not going to get into that. The thing is, today was about the FAA. I still can't get over half of this. There's a lot. There's a lot in this. The first couple of pages. That's yeah.
Yeah.
And Stephen Baird, my apologies. I thought you meant me. I do apologize. But you did say spawn. Sorry, not storm. Just saying. But the issue, I'm going back to the comment I made earlier on about people, is you're going to come across people who don't like you. You're going to come across people who get fascinated about you or fixated about you and that. And you need to remember, guys, that the moment we click that X to turn off YouTube or whatever, right? That's it. People just, some people are just fucking move on, ignore anything. But I like to interact with the people I've met, because I've met so many nice people. I'll give you that. I have come across a lot of people that I quite enjoy. I mean, so.
Yeah. On that note, I have to get out of here.
Yep.
Mr. Squid is home. The little went running with him. I have to make sure that things in the house are good, and my voice is starting to get a little low.
Warm brandy and honey.
I've talked way too much today. So it is improving. It's just slow on the uptake. So thanks for hanging out, all 20 of you who are still here and stuck around. I appreciate you guys more than you know. And we will do an Ask Me Anything probably tomorrow for members only. So I love you guys. Have a great night. We will if there's anybody we can redirect to.
Take care, guys.
I've been trying to make sure that I redirect to people because.
And remember, smile a day keeps the weird people away.
I didn't think that phrase.
Do you know it takes less energy to smile and be happy than it does to frown and be angry?
I need a catchphrase. You have that. Friggin' Mo has be nice but keep a can of bitch fire. Like, you know, like we're gonna.
A baseball bat comes in multiple sizes. Yeah, just say it. I mean, I've got two. I've got yeet, get out, or I've got a smile a day keeps the weird people away.
And I need to ask. I need to add music to my outro. I just don't know what to add and how.
I'll send you a link to an AI thingy bobby, and then basically the ones that I used. I mean, I made it. You know that quote I put up about Rome, you know, about Caesar and everything. I decided to take the lyrics and wrote the lyrics, and I've actually. Oh, sugar! I forgot to mention that in my stream. I could have played that. So yeah, I created a tune. So I'll send that to you afterwards.
Hey, Captain, you're just in time to say goodbye. We're gonna raid alternate bird. We're gonna go see some crazy. Speaking of bitch fire, we're gonna go raid AJ and see some Lori Vallow craziness. Y'all have a great day. I will see you on the next one. Bye.
Take care, everybody.